welcome back to the channel. Today we will be going over how to know if you or someone you know is abusing an animal. So before we begin, my name is Aquari Doyle. My purpose here on YouTube is to spread awareness about educational animal related videos that I make on YouTube. That way me and my team can open up our very own animal rescue center here in the near future. So if you're interested in that journey, please be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. That way you are notified every single time we post a video. Sorry, our cat's kind of distracting me from the intro, but be sure to check the description. I have the research for this video down below. I also have the link to the Humane Society of the USA events page if you're interested in knowing what events are going on near you or virtual events that are online right now, just in case you're not ready to go outside just yet. And we also have links that you can donate to for different animal organizations below that in the description as well. So please, please, please be sure to check that out on your free time. Yeah. So let's get into the video. Okay, so let's go over how you can tell if you or someone you know is abusing an animal by being with the animal or being around the animal, okay? So, excuse you. So one way you can know is there's a tucked tail, like their tail is underneath them, and they flinch whenever there is human contact. When you go out to reach for the animal to pet it, or among other things, they flinch. They flinch at contact. So that is one way you can absolutely tell that they have been abused, either in the past or currently right now. So another way you can tell is poor body condition or just trauma you can see on the outside. This can go along with starvation, so you can tell that they are being starved, not having enough food and water. That's poor body condition as well. There could be scarring, bleeding, limping if it gets that severe. They're just hurt and you can tell. It's very easy to tell. Hello. If someone is abusing an animal. Another way you can tell is the animal is overly submissive. This means that most of the time when you approach the animal, they roll over on their stomach, tuck their tail most of the time or wag it, and their ears are like back, and it's the mentality of, if I don't give you what you want, you're just gonna hurt me, kind of thing. And this goes along with urinating while this is happening. This can go along with neglect. Well, the poor body condition can go along with neglect, where the owner's not feeding the the animal correctly. So there's going to be a very, very skinny animal, basically. And the animal is not going to be kept up, which means they're not going to be groomed, they're not going to be taken care of, no baths, no nothing. So even that goes along with vet visits too. I'm not saying all of these things have to be there in order for someone to be abusing the animal. It could just be one thing. It doesn't have to be everything. I'm just letting you know that now. One huge way you can actually tell is that the person that is abusing that animal is also abusing another person. Usually doesn't stop at the animals. It can most likely continue with people as well. So that's a whole nother aspect. We're not here to cover human mentality, we're here to cover animals. You can see that our Figaro pillow is he's on the cat tray right here. I like to film right here, right next to them, and they enjoy it a lot. So that's what you're seeing. Why do you guys have to share that? There's like 3 different spaces you can sleep on. They're just sharing a bed. Here, let me see if I can show you. Look at this. What are you doing? There's one right up there. And you can look out the window like you like to do, Blanket. You are crazy. So weird. What do you think, Pillow? I have a quote. And I thought it was informational. So I'm gonna add it just because. Also, it's from the humanesociety.org, of course. They usually, most of my references come from the Humane Society.org or Humane Society International, Humane Society of the USA, just on and on and on. But Humane Society, that's the main one, and I always go to them for these type of things. Doggies. Someone's walking their dog. Okay. Why would anyone be cruel to animals? And that was the question, so here's the answer. Animal cruelty, like any form of violence, is often committed by a person who feels powerless, unnoticed, or under the control of others. The motive may be to shock, threaten, intimidate, or offend others, or to demonstrate rejection of society's rules. Some who are cruel to animals copy acts they have seen or that have been done to them. Others see harming an animal as a safe way to get revenge against or threaten someone who cares about that animal. Now, I thought that was a really good description, especially since we're not going over the human mind, we're going over animals instead. I'm not getting into why people do it, because that's just psychology and that's not my area of expertise. I'm not even an expert in this field. I am just doing research in this topic, I guess. Animals topics, I don't know. But yeah, I really enjoyed that quote. It was more of like a Q&A page, but I took it from that because it was such a good answer for you. As a reason why, as brief as that is, because it can get pretty lengthy of why abuse even happens, and then it gets into the type of abuse, and it just steers away from animals really quick. So what happens if you come across one or many of these things and you are a person that comes across it and you're not the one doing it? One huge thing is to not turn away. That animal needs your help, and for you to just be like, oh, they can deal with it on their own. Animals don't have a say. They need your help. So don't just walk away. It's the same as if you saw someone, and I'm gonna warn you right now, I'm gonna say something and it starts with an R. I'm gonna say the R word, okay? I'm not gonna say it full, I'm just gonna say R word. If you saw someone getting threatened to be R word in a random place, would you run away or would you help? What I mean by help is not confronting the person and getting yourself in harm. What I mean is by calling authorities. Would you? And if you say no, you are part of the problem, not part of the solution. It is the same as littering. If you see someone littering and you don't go out of your way to pick it up, you are part of the problem and not part of the solution. You are just as bad as that person that littered because you let it happen. And you walked away without picking it up. There's Blanket. So don't be part of the problem, be part of the solution. Help these animals because they can't help themselves. So some environmental signs. If you're not around the animal's not like near you or whatever, you can tell by the environment of the area that the animal lives in. So, there are ropes or chains outside to like tied up to something in the backyard, or just outside in general. I don't know if it's just in the front yard or in the backyard, so I'm just gonna say outside. And the yard is unkept. Like there's feces everywhere. It's not clean. let me see. Because this yard in front of me, they have 2 Rottweiler dogs, and they usually don't keep care of them. I would show you, but I feel like that's not my place, so I'm not gonna do that. But they are outside every single day, 24/7. They are not allowed inside. And yes, that can be considered abuse, but their owners come out to play with them once a week. And I know this because I'm home all the time and I can see it because it's directly behind our apartment, and we're on a 2nd level, so I can see into their backyard. It's not like I'm trying to, it's just the only thing we can see. And I would show you, but like I said, I don't want to intrude on their privacy because I can get in trouble for that. But I believe that's one part of abuse. Now, if I were to call authorities about it, it's a very iffy topic, because if the officers or authorities decide that it's not worth their time, they won't even come to the house for a wellness check. If they do, they can come to the house and the owners can say, no, we keep care of the dogs just fine. They will leave, even though they are lying. And I can't show them evidence because that is their private backyard. So even if you do see it, there are limits. Like I said, it's a very tough topic to talk about, in my opinion, just because of the fact that, yes, their yard is unkept, yes, they're outside all the time, but the fact that their owners play with them once a week, they're not chained up, and they seem relatively happy, it's not gonna be worth the time to call the authorities. If they are happy in their backyard home, I mean, there's an open kennel that they can go in and out of if they choose. There's a huge tree that has shade, because it gets really hot in Arizona, but they have plenty of shade, they have plenty of ways to keep cool. The backyard is a mess, I'm not gonna lie, it's really cluttered, but they have plenty of room to play and get shade, and they're not deprived of food and water. They get fed regularly, and yeah. So in that case, it's not gonna be worth your time to call the authorities, and you're overanalyzing at that point. Just be sure to do your research, like I say in every video. Do your own research, because there's so much that me and my team can do to help you. So you need to help yourself too. But let's say you go over to someone's house and you see their dog chained up to the backyard, even though they can't really go anywhere if they're not chained up. They are chained up on a short or long leash, doesn't really matter, they're chained up anyway. And they're deprived of food and water, and you can tell they're skinny, and that's pretty much all you can like tell if they're outside and tied up. They're basically not taken care of. Their backyard is just full of feces. It's unkept. Like I said before, it doesn't have to be all of these things. It can just be a few points here and there, and that would be enough. But let's say the dog, let's say a dog, when you approach it, it has a tucked tail, but it lets you pet the dog. It lets you pet it, is what I mean. And that's the only thing. The owner feeds the dog, grooms the dog, takes care of the dog. It could be a few things. It could be that the dog was abused when they were very small, and they remember that very clearly, and that is why they react that way. Or it could just be psychological animal things. It doesn't always resort back to the owner being abusive. Usually you can tell if an owner is abusive just by talking to them. If you bring up their animals, they'll be, oh yeah, that's my dog. Or they'll be like, yeah, I teach them a lesson whenever I can, they're stupid, and they just insult the animal for being the animal. Then it's just like, okay, yeah, maybe I should look more into it, maybe I should do some more research, maybe I should see what's happening a little bit more, hang out with this person a little bit more. If this person says that they are abusing their animal, they are hitting their animal to teach them a lesson or something, and they admit to it with pride or something, they admit to it, you can call authorities. Arizona is one of the states where you are required to call authorities if you know of any abuse with animals. So be sure to do your research, that way you know signs, because like I said, there's so much that me and my team can do for you, so do something for yourself and do some research as well. But that's basically it. I really wanted to cover this. I just want you guys to research, do your own part in this. Don't take this as full fact, okay? Don't think that me and my team are just 100% professional in this. What I would do is obviously research, but do the right links. Go to many links, not just a few. You want to make sure you're doing this right, because you can get in trouble for accusing someone of abuse and them not being abusing the animal. You will get in trouble for that. Or you might get a warning, and then they have to talk to you about it, be like, these are the signs, because authorities do know all of that. You can always, it depends on your area, but you can always go to the local police department or the community even, and educate yourself, ask the people what are the signs, and that way you can know 100% for sure how to report it. I do want to mention something. The reason we don't have a roommate anymore, we did have a roommate, and it was Andrew's brother, his stepbrother in a way. He's half brother, so he's not step, so it's half brother. He was living here before we did, and we moved in with him, and after a year we came to find out that he would regularly abuse Blanket and Pillow. We don't know about Tigger once we brought him in. We brought him in like maybe like 2 to 3 months after we moved in, when he was a kitten. And his brother was very familiar with Tigger, and we don't know if he was abusing Tigger behind our backs. I really like to think not, but let me tell you about the type of abusing that he would do. He would regularly towel whip Pillow, and Pillow's the type of cat that if he's interested in what you're doing, he will meow quite a bit, and this person thought that was very annoying. He likes to get in your business, he likes to see what you're doing, he's a very nosy, he likes to get in your stuff, he likes to be a little terrorist, but it's nothing to abuse an animal for. Nothing is worth doing that extreme. Of course you can be like, hey Pillow, don't do that. You don't physically abuse an animal for something that you weren't approving. It's not like you can talk to them like a human being and be like, you can't do that. They're not gonna understand. Cats will do whatever they want, and they don't understand the meaning of punishment. Pillow is just a very needy cat. He really enjoys attention, and when he doesn't get that attention, he goes through our stuff. And that is when we know he hasn't had enough attention today, or that day. So he would regularly towel whip Pillow. He would sometimes do it to Blanket, but Blanket was his favorite cat. But the breaking point for me, personally, usually when you are in the kitchen, if you're like messing with food or anything, Pillow will beg. He's a really big beggar, and he will meow quite a bit. Pillow, come here. Pillow. He's coming. Come here, Pillow. Come here. We're talking about you, so you're gonna be here. She whacked me in the head. Why'd you do that? So here you are. Good boy. I enjoy your company. Basically this guy was cussing Pillow out, telling him to die in a fire, that he didn't care about him, and calling him all these very cruel names. And that very much pissed me off. You don't talk to animals like that. If you do, then I personally don't approve. That, for me, is abuse. You don't talk to animals that can't defend themselves. You can't call them an a-hole and expect them to be like, oh, well, I'm not an a-hole. They can't defend themselves. So I don't feel as if it's fair for you to make an argument against an animal that can't really retaliate against that because they don't understand what you're saying, but you mean all the harm. I mean, I guess it's just like, if you're playing around, oh, you're a stupid butthole or something like that, just more vulgar language, and you're messing around, but you're not just like serious, like, F off, you stupid cat, then it's just like, okay, well, it's a whatever thing. But his mom came over one time and she was coddling Pillow, and Pillow does not like to be coddled, and she likes to snuggle cats really tight, and Pillow does not like that. And we told her, don't do that, he's not gonna like that, he will probably scratch you or bite you. And he bit her, and she attempted to throw him across the room. That is abuse. But before she even tried to do that, Andrew intervened, and that was that. She ended up not doing that. Of course, if you are there and you are about to witness it, if you can intervene, do it, but at your own risk. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying that is your choice, and that is at your own risk. And be smart about it. Okay, don't start throwing punches. Don't make it worse. If they are throwing vulgar language at an animal, don't throw vulgar language at the person. You're just gonna make the situation worse. Be smart about it and research. That person no longer lives here, but I was seriously gonna call the authorities, but then Andrew said that if we did, they would take away all cats. We would lose Tigger. We would never see him again. And I don't feel as if that was fair to let this guy win and take away our cat. So what we did was tried our best to make sure it didn't happen, would encourage him to not do what he was doing, and that was all we can do, because we didn't want our cat being taken away, because they would take the cat away because we live in the same apartment. They can't just take away pillow and blanket just because they are his cats. They would take away Tigger because he would be endangering another animal, and that would be put on his permanent record so he could never get an animal again. And as long as we were living with him, we could no longer have animals either. And, which I think is dumb, if he was called in for abusing an animal, and we called in and reported it, not only would they put animal abuser on his record, but they would also put it on our record, me and Andrew's record, so that way we can never own another animal for the rest of our lives, because we allowed it to happen. Because we live in the same house, basically. Even if we try and fight it, there's no real way to actually fight it. So if you're living with someone that's abusing an animal and you're in the same predicament, if you're able to get out, get out. If not, do your research and talk to your local police department and see what you can do. If you can try and convince them on your side, I would try your hardest to do that. But in our case, in our state, that is exactly what would have happened, and we would never be able to have any animals, and we would never be able to open our business, which is the Animal Rescue Center, because we would be animal abusers. So be careful, do everything at your own risk, and just know for like the third time, we are not telling you to do any of this, these actions. We are not telling you to call the authorities. We want you to do your research first, so that way you are knowledgeable on your own without us. We're just here to spread the word. Thank you for your time. My name is Aquaria Doyle. My purpose here on YouTube is to spread awareness by creating animal-related educational videos, so that way me and my team can open up our very own animal rescue center here in the near future. So if you're interested in that animal loving journey, be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, that way you are notified every single time we post a video. Also check the description down below for the research for this video. I have it right down below, and I also have a few links that I didn't use in this video but are just for you, so be sure to do that. We also have the Humane Society events page, that way you can see if there's any events going on near you, or virtual events if you're not interested in going out and about just yet. There's also the donation pages where you can donate any amount of money to animal organizations, and that is everything. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share the video so that way everyone knows about this and everyone is aware. It's always good to spread the word, especially if you care as much as we do. So thank you again for your time, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.